even gonna think to compete? Like there's zero chance of competition.
I didn't truly realize how fast I could start and scale a home service-based business until I did. And so this video is going to be nothing more than just my story. I mean, there's no script I came up with. There's no story that I produced. I told my copywriters, guys, like, sit this one out because there's no storyline to come up with. It's simply just my true story and the path that I took. And hopefully you guys are able to relate, bounce ideas off, or, you know, if anything, this video may be an indicator or sign for you guys to maybe start something on your own, build something for yourself, something that is long-term and sustainable. So with that being said, my name is James Duggan. I am now the age of 22. I started my first home service-based business at the age of 20, so 2 years ago. And within my first 2 years of running a cleaning company, I generated over $800,000. And the concept that I used, which I call the blueprint concept, was actually applicable to a second home service-based company I started, Environation Solutions, which is everything junk removal, waste management, bin rental, demolition, and then the general contracting side of things too, the painting, the drywall repairs, the flooring, the list is endless. With that being said, my point is 4 months into my second home service-based company, I was able to prove my concept by hitting over $140,000 in revenue. And this was a great indicator that, hey, you know, everything we've implemented, everything we practice, all these systems, all these standard operating procedures, all the people we hire, all the positions we hire for, it's no theory, it's no guesswork, it's a proven concept, and we were actually able to scale with confidence. And that's what I hope to achieve in this video is, number one, explaining my story and showing you guys how quickly I was able to scale my home service-based business. But number two, also trying to teach you guys how you can scale with confidence, as opposed to just working as hard as you can in potentially the wrong direction. Because scaling in the wrong direction, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy, it's a waste of money. And hopefully this video serves as a shortcut, a video of guidance to how you guys can be directed in the right direction. Just a quick sip of coffee. So with that being said, I was fresh out of high school and I was already working 2 grocery store jobs. I started a couple businesses here and there, but the truth is they weren't going well. And prior to that business, I actually had 3 or 4 others. So I had about, 4 or 5 failures until I started the cleaning company. And how I started the cleaning company was I was working 2 grocery store jobs. I grew up in Indonesia the majority of my life. My dad had work overseas. He had great high-paying jobs, and so that's where I grew up for the majority of my lifetime. And I made a lot of friends there. And so in about February, I decided that I needed to take time off. I graduated high school. I was working 2 grocery store jobs nonstop for a year, and I felt like I hit a dead end. So that's exactly what I did. I took 2 weeks off. I flew to Indonesia with my father. I met my best friend. His name is Revel. This was a great 2 weeks for me just to unplug and really go out there and see what more this world of ours has to offer. I was able to rethink. I was put in an environment that I could just grow exponentially. Indonesia is a growing nation. It is crazy the amount of innovation and technology and all the above that they have there. And I knew that because I had lived there for the majority of my life, but it was just an eye-opener to see, hey, like, look at this world, man. Because as I went to Indonesia, I dropped into Singapore and Tokyo and a bunch of other countries, and I'm like, damn, like, there is so much more to this world. I know that when I get back, I'm gonna take a risk. I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm not gonna stop. And I genuinely don't care. Yeah, I could fail for another 10 years nonstop, and I'll only be at the age of 30. The average person retires at what, 45, 50, whatever. I'll still be 15 years ahead of the game, even if I fail for another 10 years straight. So it just doesn't even matter, And that was the mindset that I went off of. Was failure wasn't an option, and if I were to fail, I would just keep going until I figured it out, because I knew 2 things. Number one is it's possible, and number 2, I may not be the smartest guy in the room, but I'm the hardest fucking worker, and no one's gonna outwork me. And anytime I approach something difficult or hard, I feel amazing about it. I feel so good when things get hard, because it just means that it's that much harder for anyone to even keep up. There were times where I was vacuuming until 3 a.m. at night or in the morning, and I didn't feel bad for myself for a single second, because I'm like, damn, if I'm out here vacuuming until 3 a.m. when starting out my company, doing all these commercial properties, who can even compete? Who's even going to think to compete? Like, there's zero chance of competition. And this is the mindset that you need to be in as you start your company or scale your company or whatever position you're in is stop pitying yourself. Instead, feel good about it. Feel good about things when they get hard. Anytime I approach something difficult, I love it. It's like a mission for me to just complete it and figure it out, because I know that it just puts me that further ahead to the other competition that's out there. It gets to the point where there's just not even any competition because they just can't keep up. And this is the mindset you need to be in. So when I came back from Indonesia, before I had left Indonesia, I actually applied to a car dealership job at Audi in Ottawa, Canada. I love cars. I'm a huge car guy. My dream car is the Lamborghini Huracan. You guys can say what you want. Basic, not basic. That's your dream car too. Doesn't matter. The dream car is not the objective of this video. Again, it's just this whole story, and hopefully you guys are able to relate. I find it a lot easier to relate to just entrepreneurship and scaling and growing when I hear another person's story, right? It just gives you a general idea on the timeframes and what the possibility is. So when I got back from Indonesia, I was hired at Audi. And fun fact, I lasted at Audi for about 2.5 months, not because I got fired, but because I quit on my own terms. And I remember when I quit at Audi, they actually offered me more money to stay. And I told the service manager in the most respectful way possible, you could give me $150,000 a year and I'm still going to leave. And at the time I was making $18 per hour working in the service lot as a valet. So I would drive all these nice, expensive, fancy cars all around the city, delivering the cars, filling them up with gas. It was my dream job. And I actually drove an Audi at the time too, because I bought an Audi from, the same owners who owned that dealership. So, I was making good money. I would work 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Audi. I would have about 2 hours of wiggle room, and this is where I would do my door-to-door knocking, sales, networking, trying to grow my cleaning company. And then I would go to Freshco or Foodland, which are the two grocery stores that I worked at, and I would work from 7 p.m. all the way to 11:30 p.m. And then I'd repeat every single day. So I get about 5 hours of sleep a night. And again, 7 a.m. is when I started work. So mind you, I'd be up at 6. I'd start work at Audi at 7 a.m., finish at 4, get home at 4:30, door-to-door knock from 4:30 to 6:30, and then just knock on as many freaking doors as I could, which I loved. I treated it like a goal to knock on 30, 40 doors between that 2-hour mark, and I knew that within 20 homes I'd get at least one yes. So I'd get 10 no's, 11 no's, 15 no's, and I'd be like, this is awesome, I love it, because I know that the next 5 I'm going to get one yes based on just average statistics from my own findings. So that was my life, and that was my life for literally 2.5 months. It went by so fast. I didn't have a single second to pity myself or be depressed or think back or look back or reconsider. I simply went all out, and I gave myself no other option. And something I live by, which may sound a little excessive, so I wouldn't suggest this upon anybody, but there's a saying, if you put a gun to your head, you'll probably get it done, right? And so, again, the gun isn't the point. The point of that saying is, if you can do it in the first place, then you may as well do it, right? So I just worked like I had a gun in my head, and I had crazy goals and unbelievable ambition. And this whole time, it just felt like an adrenaline rush. And even today, it feels like an adrenaline rush. I wake up and it's not, oh, I got to go into work and I got to do this. I wake up and it's like I'm on a mission to build my empire and keep growing and keep scaling. And truthfully, guys, when you wake up in the morning and you know that your only job is to keep growing this empire that you've started, how can you not wake up and feel motivated? Like, how can you not? There's no other option. So after I quit Audi, I just massively scaled my cleaning company. And again, within the first 2 years, I was able to generate over $800,000. And, in the beginning, I didn't really understand everything I was doing. It was all trial and error. But now that I've come to realize, I was actually developing what I like to call the blueprint method throughout this entire process. And if you guys are curious to what blueprint is, I'm not going to I'm not going to speak too much about what it is, but I created a free community in the link with the description down below. It's called Blueprint, and you guys can click on that link and join it whenever you want. Essentially, what Blueprint is how to start and scale a cleaning company, but you're also able to join and talk and speak and learn and teach with a bunch of other community members. It's individuals who are all like-minded individuals, right? You guys are all on the same path to achieve major success, grow more, learn more, earn more, just genuinely be more at the end of the day. One of my favorite mentors once told me, you're the average of your top 5 surroundings. So, you guys would know your situation best. Who are your top 5 surroundings, and, who do you aspire to be? Where do you aspire to become? Like somebody else once told me too, if you're hanging around 10 electricians, chances are you're going to be the next electrician. And so it's no different too if you're hanging around 10 millionaires, chances are you're probably going to be the next millionaire. Put this in a soccer perspective, if you're hanging out with 10 of the best soccer players in the world, you're probably going to be participating in the World Cup at some point. So once I started scaling my cleaning company and developing the blueprint method, which I wasn't aware of at the time because I was just learning as much as I could and implementing systems and building systems. And I read this one book called Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell, which completely changed my life. And essentially the entire purpose of this book is to remind you to clone yourself, because you can only be at so many places at once. So for example, me personally, I just kept telling myself, how big can I take this company if James Duggan was in 10 different places? And then I thought, what if James is in 50 different places and 20 different places? And because it's so much more than just hiring guys. I can take anyone off the street today and hire them, but that's not going to change this company, because you need platforms, you need systems, you need standard operating procedures. There is so much more to it. And so essentially, I just fell in love with cloning myself. Think of Jeff Bezos, owner of Amazon. He's cloned himself 10,000 whatever, however many employees they have over. It's ridiculous. And look at their operation. And they've got so many fulfillment centers. And chances are Jeff Bezos has only visited like 10% of them. Like there's no way he visits every single one of them. They're opening $50 million, $100 million fulfillment centers, and he's not even visiting them. And the takeaway from that is just how magnificent, how absolutely brilliant his systems are to be able to achieve something like that. So you can't sit here and think to yourself or tell me or tell anybody else that you're not going to be able to start a business when there's individuals in this world who are achieving that type of caliber of just building a $50 to $100 million fulfillment center, never stepping foot in it, never seeing it, never visiting it. Like that is insane. So again, if there's people out there achieving that, then you most certainly should be able to achieve a simple home service-based business or literally any other business that comes to mind. Rounded back to my story, unaware at the time, I was developing the blueprint method, which I like to call, and you guys can discover the blueprint method for free by clicking the link in the description down below after this video, because I think it's really important that you guys hear the rest of the story. But my company essentially ran on autopilot, and I was at the phase where I was like, well, okay, like this is, it's growing, there's only so much I can do. We're adding, few clients, several clients per week. This is growing at a good pace. We're trading at a good pace. We're not growing too fast, but we're also not growing too slow. So I really like what we have here. And everything was autonomous. So I kind of thought to myself, well, what do I do now? What's my new phase? What's my new chapter? And because I'm in the cleaning sector, we saw so much demand for junk removal, demolition, hoarding situations, painting, flooring, drywall repair, all of the above. And so that was the idea. I was going to go into another demand-driven business, and I was going to offer the same service, but better quality and better customer support. And I was going to use my existing network from the cleaning company. And literally 4 months down the road, we broke through that $150,000 mark in revenue, using the same systems, the same marketing techniques, the same hiring standards, the same hiring operating procedure, literally everything that I implemented in the cleaning company since day one. And I'm so fortunate to be in the position I am today, because now I've got 2 companies that pretty much run themselves. I mean, with the general contracting side of things, it's still pretty technical. And, I have no problem being completely transparent with you guys. The second company I started, it's only about 8 months, or, let me think about it. It's just about a year. Yeah, it's only been a year, so it's still a very new company, right? So yes, with some of the technical things, the tiling, the drywall, I will still go there, I'll still quote, I'll still check, I'll still follow up, but I can guarantee that in about 6 to 8 months from now, I'll have a production manager, I'll have a front-end manager who's just able to take care of all those things, right? And it's just all the process of growth, and I can't wait to hit that side of things. So to conclude and close off this video, I'm not sure what position you guys may be in, but if it's one thing that you walk away with today, I want it to be the fact that you now understand from living proof, my personal experience, how fast and quickly you can start and scale a company, but also just genuinely transform your life. And there's no one stopping you. If you think about it, you're a human being on the planet Earth in a huge universe. Like, there's so much more to life. So don't overthink things. Just get it started, build something you truly believe in. And you will get stuck. You will run into issues. You will run into cash flow issues. You will get customer complaints. You're going to get all of these, but you can't expect to be more than the average person without doing more, without going through more, without everything more. The more cars on the road, the more car crashes, more money, more problems. More of something always results in more of something else. And there's always a good something else and a bad something else. And that's okay. Another example of this is as I grow, let's say I get 1 complaint out of 10 clients. Well, the same ratio works for 10 complaints out of 100 clients, right? So don't be discouraged by these numbers. And, obviously we probably only get like 1 complaint out of 500 clients, but that's just the general ratio that I wanted to provide you guys with, okay? And life is going to throw so much at you, but understandably so, because you're just trying to do more. You're going through more. I feel like I've lived 10 years of my life in the span of 2 years, just working nonstop, experiencing, networking, mentoring people, getting mentored by people, all of the above. And I choose to live this life all over again. No debate. My name is James Duggan. Thanks for watching this video. I value your time. Any questions, just put them in the comment section below. I read all my comments. I love this community that we're building, and I appreciate you guys. Let's make sure that you go out there and you kill it and you don't settle for less, because in this lifetime of yours, if you live like I do, you're going to live life on your own terms.